Again? Just where are you going?
Where are you going? You're not going to the bar again, are you?
You like hanging out, drinking beer at the bar, talking sports? Come on out and join us weekly. Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, your podcast for just that. Hanging out, drinking some beer, talking sports. Do you want to help support the show? Well, we're doing it for beer. So go ahead and buy us a beer. You can do that through Venmo at Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, and we'll look forward to drinking that beer on you. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, Season 3, Episode 4. We just keep on going, can't be stopped. I'm not sure why people keep on listening, but it's probably for my man, Ripper the Predictor over here, just to see what he's talking about. It could be for Who's Your Daddy, I'm not sure. And it's most likely for Chopper, who's not here tonight, by the way. But here we are, MJ's Bar and Grill, greatest bar and grill in Columbia. We'll say all of South Carolina. We're going to expand this thing every week until it's like the entire world.
I'm feeling like the southeast region right now.
Southeast? Yeah, okay, southeast region.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably some really good bars up there around Ohio or something like that you've been
It's been a while.
Right? Yeah. We're going to go on tour one day, though. We're going to go nonstop touring the entire football season. We're going to end up in Gainesville. We'll end up in College Station.
I don't know if it's still open, but the Regal Beagle in Ada, Ohio, where they make all of the NFL footballs, that needs to be on our list.
Shout out to the Regal Beagle.
That's awesome.
All right, so we'll have to end up there at some point. But for now, we're just going to steep until we start getting paid for this, which you can pay us by buying us a beer, by the way. Always good to buy a beer. Guys at the Bar Talking Sports is the Venmo. If you want to check that out, go ahead and do that. But for now, we'll just pay for our own beers, all right? Because I can't get a free beer out of this for the life of me. I'm trying. We started this thing, y'all, I don't know if you noticed, we started this hoping that one day we could drink for free while we do a podcast.
Yeah.
That was our goal.
It's not working out so well.
It's not working. Three seasons later, still isn't working out, but eventually it will.
Yes.
It is a passion project of mine, and I got my man Ripper on board with this thing, doing some articles, the Ripper Report. Talk to me, Ripper, what are you drinking?
Tonight I am drinking Steel Paul's Wheat Lager. Pretty good stuff.
Wow.
Sounds delicious. Is it good?
It is good.
Okay. Who's your daddy? He's got the shirt on, by the way. It actually says, Who's your daddy?
That's awesome.
What you drinking, Who's your daddy?
Drinking Sierra Nevada, that sunny little thing.
Oh,
Very
that's
good
what you were
beer.
drinking last week as
Right.
well. Well, you
Pretty
started
good.
with it last week.
Right.
And then you moved on to like a white
UFO white
white something or
White
other.
eat.
Well, he tapped the keg, so he had to move on to something else. So.
That's my man right there, always tapping the kegs, right? And who shows up? It is my woman, Cheeks. She's double fisting it over here, too.
I am.
I don't know, why are you double fisting? You gotta get your drink on quick.
So I don't have
She's
to
like-
get up in the middle of the broadcast.
Oh, okay. Smart woman. She plans ahead. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I just get a gigantic...
Yeah, I was going to say, or I could have the large liter-sized thing of beer that you have.
And that's what I do. I just get the
Yep.
biggest beer I could possibly get.
Yep.
You could get that by winning the Steinholding contest every Oktoberfest at MJ's Bar and Grill. Come on out. Try to beat me.
October 15th, I believe.
October
Yep.
15th at
Yep.
5 o'clock.
Great
Come on
luck.
out and try to beat me in the Steinholding contest. My man Ripper says he's going to beat me.
You're
That's
going
what he
down.
says.
You're
What do you
going
think
down.
about this, Cheeks?
Throwing down.
I think that my money's on you. I'm sorry. Ripper, I'm sorry.
Two-time world heavyweight champion of the world,
Well,
baby.
I'm more of a middleweight, so
Yeah.
So I mean, you better pack on some pounds for this thing, man,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
bring it.
I might be a cruiserweight by now.
And his wife gets it for the women,
My wife
too.
actually wins for the women, yeah, every
Yeah.
year.
Oh,
She's a two-time female welterweight champion of the world, baby.
All right, Team Ripper is coming for you.
Team Ripper.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you better back that up and say lightweight women's champion, not middleweight.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
sorry, yeah.
You're looking out there, who's your daddy?
The featherweight champion of the world.
Much better, much
There
better.
you go.
The women's, yeah, there we go. Women will get mad at you about that one, huh? I can't
Uh-huh.
say heavyweight. By far, no. But my wife does not listen to the show like many wives, so we don't have to worry about her over here on that, right?
I'm trying to bring the female element.
You are, yes. We did bring our diversity hire in,
Yes.
but she is not just a diversity hire. We bring her in because she has a lot of good stuff to talk about as well. NFL Eagles fan.
Yes.
And baseball. A lot of baseball knowledge over there.
My Dodgers still in first place.
That is
I need
true.
to
Stand
see if
alone.
My Guardians are still in first. I think they're tied or
For
down
their
one.
division, I believe they are.
And aren't you a Commanders fan as well, a little bit? No?
No.
Okay. For some reason, I thought you were.
Commando, but not
Commando.
commander.
For all the guys listening, especially the single ones, Commando, okay?
Sorry.
Just so you know.
I'm really repressing my comment right now.
Please do.
Yeah. So did y'all hear about the big news on Friday? 12-team playoff has been voted on. It's going to happen. I think they voted on it to start in 2026, but they're really pushing for it to start 2024. That's not next season. That's the season afterwards. That's going to be
And ding.
in what?
Ding, like boom, like pow. That's happening.
Because we don't have sound
Ring the
effects.
bell.
We don't have sound effects.
I mean, yeah. Ring the bell, okay. Wouldn't it be amazing if it happened 2020, like next season then, but that's not going to happen. It takes a while for that stuff to work out. I know there's some contracts involved. They say that the 12-team playoff is worth about $1.2 billion, whereas the 4-team playoff is valued at about $400 million.
I really think
So-
they're just doing this for the benefit of the kids playing the sport, really. It has nothing to do with the money.
I
Yeah.
think it has
And
to do with...
I'm full of crap, also.
Yeah, you're definitely full of crap. It definitely has a lot to do with money. Everything in college football now seems like it centers around money.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? The almighty dollar. You're bringing money into the colleges. There's a lot of stuff going on to make those colleges get. They need as much money as they can get, I guess. I don't know. But they're not sending it to the kids because the kids are paying absorbent amounts of money to go to school. But what do you think about this 12-team playoff, Cheeks?
You know what?
OMG, by the way, we just got my man Chopper. How
Yeah.
you doing, Chopper?
Hey, beats.
What you gonna be drinking?
Steel hands.
Beer, cold beer,
He's got
Cold
steel
beer.
hands shirt on.
cold tasty beer.
With his steel hand shirt on.
Yeah.
I recommend the Steel Paw. It's pretty good stuff.
So what do you think about this 12-team playoff, Cheeks?
I'm indifferent right now to it. You know what? If the money's used wisely, then I'm all for doing anything that'll bring money and awareness. But if it's just going to line the pockets of the upper hand people, then why?
Okay. But do you think it does? To me, I think it. I don't want to give too much of my opinion right now. I want to hear y'all's opinions first. But when it comes down to it, I think it makes every conference at least more competitive because they're going to do.
Yeah.
This is what they're going to be doing: 6 teams, or the 6. I guess you'll call it the Power 6 at that point because there's the Power 5. But I think they're putting AAC in there as well. So you're going to basically have a Power 6. Each of those conferences, their champion gets to be in automatically, and then the next 6 teams in the college playoff poll after that.
But it's sounding like they're emulating the NFL way too much, too.
Well,
I mean,
A
there's
little.
so many things that
There's
are
no-
starting to drift that way.
I guess that would be like the at-large would be the wild card, playoff game. I guess I understand that a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So how do they? I don't know how you break down a 12-team playoff though. Do a couple teams get a bye week? How is that going to work? Do you know?
Yeah, they mentioned a couple teams will be getting a bye week. I
Top
think
4.
4.
Yeah.
4 teams will get a
4
bye
teams
week.
get a bye week.
The next 8 will play, and they fight it out, and then they're going to do 8. 8 will
Just
be
like
left.
the NFL.
Just
Yeah, so basically, you're going to have 11 playoff games to decide your national champion.
okay. It'll be fun to watch, man.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people have been pulling for it for a long time. A lot of people really hate the four teams playoff. Everyone there's always that 5th and 6th team that are kind of iffy whether they should be there or not, like Texas A&M last year. But then the 13, 14, and 15 ranked teams are always going to be complaining that they're not in too, So,
Since 2014, when we started the whole college football playoff, the majority of fans and even announcers kind of wanted more. They wanted more than just the 14 playoffs. So we're kind of getting what we want on that level. It's going to increase more revenue for not only the teams that are going to be competing, but that's going to get spread out, I imagine, throughout those conferences. So that's really going to help out those conferences to be able to upgrade their facilities and make even some of the smaller market teams more competitive in recruiting. Could it provide parity? Possibly, but I doubt it. But I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in 2024.
Yeah.
Do you think? So take my example on this. That the power 6 that it's going to be at that point. Do you think it makes it so because one of them is going to be in the playoff no matter what if they win? Right. So recruiting, do you think the coaches are going to have an easier time recruiting in the AAC? Like, hey, listen, we're stacking up a team right now. We're going to win the AAC. We're going to be able to compete for a national championship every year, no matter what. Same thing with Alabama or an SEC team. They already can say that. And ACC can't say that every year, though. But now they will. We're going to be able to compete for a national championship.
Well, I think that's the potential for maybe a little more parity than we have currently in college football.
Yeah, because SEC and Big Ten dominate every year. I mean, there's 8 SEC teams right now in the top 25. You said that you think that's a little bit too much in a little message today somewhere, I think, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I didn't say that 8 was too much. I thought that might be okay. It still seems a little heavy, but 5 for the ACC seems a little much.
Yeah, having Wake Forest there, having Pitt there.
No, 5 ACC teams ranked in the top 25, and there's 8 Big Ten. There's more ACC teams ranked in the top 25 than there are Big Ten teams.
Yeah, and there's only one AAC team. That was the Houston at number 25.
It's early, though.
Right.
It's very early, yeah. Those teams start going undefeated, and it starts messing around with stuff in the AAC, as well as SEC is going to start destroying each other, where those 8 teams are not going to be in there at the end of the season as well. But back to the 12-team playoff, my man Chopper, what are your thoughts on the 12-team playoff that they're talking about?
I'm all for it. Do it. I think it's, like I've said before, but don't be shocked when there's 4 SEC teams in the top 4.
And I think that
in the top 4?
Yeah.
The Final 4.
The Final 4.
Okay.
Yeah, don't be surprised when that happens. Because
it
could very well happen.
No, but at least
Very
there's an
close.
opportunity for other
Could very
people
well
to get
happen.
involved. So.
Then everybody's going to say, well, we like it the other way. So be careful what you ask for.
Yeah,
I think if
telling you
anything,
now.
Well, it's they're
This
still
gives-
losing, so.
this gives these other teams in smaller markets a chance.
Yeah.
Right now, there's no chance.
Yeah, you're going to have
You
a
got-
Pac-12
you got-
team in there every year.
You got an SEC team. We talked about them beating up on each other. You get one that's ranked like 8 or 9 that's just hanging out there. Suddenly they got to play the 3 or the 4 team.
Yeah.
Watch out! I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Watch out.
And how would they allow? So the top 6 are going to be, or I guess the way they're doing it is the top 6 are going to be the conference champions, right?
Well, you're still going to have
They're
still going to have a
gonna
ranking
rank well.
system.
They're still going to rank.
They're still going to be ranked,
Okay, gotcha.
but you're going to have 12 teams, and then it's going to be the 6
Okay.
conference winners,
If the 12
champions,
team was
and then
the-
6 at large.
So if the 12th team was the Pac-12 champion, then they're still going to be the 12th team in.
Right.
It's like, okay, I got you. I
I
And
see.
there's
do-
probably going to be 4 or more at-large SEC teams. That's probably how it's going to go.
I do like the idea of having a Cinderella team come in and just upset everybody, though. I do like that.
But
I like that
basketball
idea.
or football is different than basketball.
We've seen it happen before with
I-
Boise State knocking off.
Yeah, I
mean,
like that
Oklahoma.
idea, though.
To go on a
I
run
do.
for 3 games in a row, though, where you're going to be the Cinderella in college football.
Maybe not, but
Like
it might not. It might
improbable.
knock off like one of your top tier teams. I
Yeah.
mean, didn't Utah beat Alabama a few years
It
back?
would be very exciting.
Yeah.
Who's your
And
daddy?
that's
Jump
how we
on
get our
it.
parity.
Look at the Central Florida a couple of years ago. Went
A
through
good
that-
team.
Yeah, very good team. Went through that. I would say with this new 12-team alignment, they could be a part of that now if they had a record like that again.
Yeah.
But money-wise, again, it will disperse some money to people that normally wouldn't get it, which is going to be helpful. Again, the number of teams you had per conference in that 12 teams, they're only going to get richer.
Yeah.
If you have 7 or 8 SEC teams or 7 or 8 Big Ten teams,
Yeah.
regardless of who it is, that conference is only going to get richer, which they are right now. But at least you're allowing others to have a say-so. And like
Yep.
Cheek said, they will have a say-so in what happens. It might not come out the way they want it, but at least they've had a
Yeah.
game in there.
Right. They were invited to the party.
Where they'll play.
Yeah. And all those undefeated teams that are in the AAC or the Pac-12 or wherever that didn't get ranked because in the top 4 because of even though I think that'll help them out a little bit as well.
And then what happens? Those 4 teams ranked in the top 4, first through 4, who don't play,
Yeah.
then they're going to be saying, "Well, we would have been better off playing a game."
That's
Especially
true.
if they get beat that first game.
Yeah.
The teams that are going to survive are the teams that have the most depth, right? So playing these extra games here at the end, I mean, you have to have depth, right, in order to make it through that.
You have to have depth.
Have to.
So we've played out that conversation a little bit. So we're going to move on to another subject. And we're going to do a quick one with Ohio State, okay? Ohio State, I have to bring it up because my man Ripper has an opinion on Ohio State every week.
No.
And I just want to hear it. So check it out, Ripper. Here's my statement to you. Ohio State, they started off slow against Notre Dame. But this was a game of depth, in my opinion, right? Ohio State outlasted the Fighting Irish last weekend. But they have Arkansas State and Toledo in the next 2 weeks. Wisconsin's coming up quickly on the 24th. They're ranked. Are the Buckeyes needing to work out anything? Or should Ohio State fans be pretty much at ease right now?
I think Ohio State fans should be excited and incredibly enthused for this season because what we saw Saturday night against Notre Dame was a defense that looked like a legitimate defense. We didn't see that at all last year, and when we needed to rely on our defense and a committed, tough running attack, that's what showed up and that's what won the game. Jackson Smith and Jigba got hurt in the first quarter, and our quarterback C.J. Stroud just did not look like he was on. So if you can win multiple ways, that's what makes you a championship team. Do they have some things they got to iron out? Sure. But am I worried about it? No. Be grateful, be excited for what's coming with that defense and that running game.
Could they beat Alabama right now, you think? Chopper?
No.
It's hard to say, too, because you're looking at who played and everybody's taking into account the scoring margins. You got to realize Ohio State played the number 5 team in the country, which was a lot better than what any of us thought. I mean, the way they played, and for Ohio State to hold that team to 72 yards in the second half total,
Yeah.
I think that speaks a lot for our defense. Now, yeah, they've got 2 games they should easily cruise and win the next 2 weeks. Confidence builders for the Buckeyes, and maybe iron out some of those things in those games, which against our weaker opponents.
And then you got Wisconsin coming up.
Where's that game? Where's the
Home.
Wisconsin game?
Home.
Home? Yeah, that's
First
good.
5 games are home.
That's good.
Should be easy. It won't be an easy game, but if y'all play the way you did against Notre Dame in the second half as opposed to the first half, I think that you get all those little kinks ironed out, and then you guys will be on fire against Wisconsin.
If you look back to last season, the 2 games Ohio State lost to Oregon and Michigan.
Yeah.
Could not stop the run. Effectively stopped the run, knowing that was Notre Dame's game plan. And could run the ball themselves.
And I don't know if you picked up on it. The touchdown pass they threw in the second half, Ohio State, both deep safeties. They played 2 safeties deep the entire game, like Michigan at the end of the year last year. Both safeties blitzed, and our quarterback picked it up, and they had to score the touchdown pass. So
Nice.
I think we'll see a lot of that too, from regardless of who we play. 2 deep safeties in the upcoming weeks, especially going into the Big Ten.
C.J. Stroud's ready, huh?
Yeah.
Moving on. My my favorite female over here, Cheeks, says Kentucky, number 20 Kentucky is going to beat number 12 Florida. I don't know if she's just trying to get back at me for something I said to her,
No.
or she's trying to kiss the blonde's ass or something. I don't know.
Well, I did watch some of the football from her pool on Saturday, so if you were in a pool with a TV, I might have picked you.
Well, whatever it is, let's just say this. They're heading to the swamp this weekend.
Yep.
Both teams are looking pretty good this season. Florida definitely is in good hands with Anthony Richardson, and Napier is really working on the running game. No, they put up 280 yards running. That's pretty solid for a Florida team that's usually all about more like passing 5 out in the whole 9 yards.
Quarterback
right?
went for over 100, didn't he?
He went for 105 or 107 yards, I think it was. Kentucky started slow against Miami of Ohio, but Will Levis, I think is how you pronounce his last name,
Yeah.
got in stride in the second half, putting up 303 yards passing. They only had 50 rushing yards, Kentucky did, right? I must say I'm slightly less worried than I was.
And I agree, I'm not as high on Kentucky as I was 2 weeks ago. They're without 2 running backs, the best running back, and another one is down, and the starting linebacker is out this game too. So
It's going to be a battle.
I picked 24-10, and I picked Florida. It might be worse than that.
Well, 50 yards rushing by Kentucky, who when they do beat Florida a couple of years ago, they put up over 200 yards rushing that game. So you need a rushing game against Florida, and they don't have it. Last week in Utah put up, I think it was, they put somewhere around like 220 yards rushing against Florida last weekend. Florida's porous. They have a defense needs a lot of work in my opinion. I think they have confidence though, and I think that they were able to rush the quarterback pretty good. Kentucky's going to have a hard time if they don't have a running game. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, the biggest reason I'm going with Florida is because it's a home game.
It is the home game.
I think I would go with, if the game was in Kentucky, I would have gone with Kentucky.
Anthony Richardson, man, 451 yards offense total, 163 passing. What are you talking about behind my back over there, bro?
I forget your call sign.
My name is
Hanger.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm
Could
supposed
you
to
be hanging
introduce
up them
myself.
mugs?
Hanging up them mugs. Yeah, that's what it is.
But you have a
Give
new
it to
coach.
me. What are you trying to say then?
You have a new coach.
But Kentucky has no running game right now.
All right,
They didn't
Your
last
coach
week,
won
but
Coach
that
of the
doesn't
Week.
mean they're not going to bring it this week.
Hanger.
What?
So
Are you trying to say something?
if you, yes. So
Give it to me, Ripper.
I picked Florida to
Bring
beat.
me down from space, okay?
I picked Florida to beat Utah in the swamp this past weekend,
You
and they did.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
But
Now the Gators need to prove that they belong up there at that elevated ranking of number 12 in the country.
yeah,
Last week they were unranked. Yesterday they were unranked. Now they're number 12.
It'll get to those boys' heads.
So what's going to happen? Are they going to buy in as, yes, we're this good? Or are they going to say, no, we're a team that needs to still prove that we are good enough to be on this stage? What's it going to be next week against Kentucky?
I think that on one level, Anthony Richardson is probably one of the most humble quarterbacks I've heard speak, right? He does not take a lot of that stuff to heart. He's really quiet. He's just there to play the game. I don't know about the rest of the team because the Gators, the last 2 seasons have been, and 90% of that team is still from last season, right? Undisciplined, throwing shoes. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Throwing freaking shoes. All
that
the
shoe
stuff,
outta here.
Yeah, all the BS that gets you in trouble. Plus, they had I think they had 7 or 8 penalties last week as well, and Billy Napier was pissed about that during the press conferences. So that's something they're working on. He's one of those people that's going to keep those boys in line, but will those boys really be in line? I don't know.
So, Hanger, I mean, I see marked improvement for the Gators this year. I see 8 to 9 wins this year. Unfortunately, I just don't think this is one of them.
You don't think you think Kentucky's going to beat them without a running game?
Yeah.
I just think that our corners are good enough to. But hey, we'll see what happens.
What time
right?
is it?
I'll be happy
Is it a
for-
night game?
I haven't looked at the
I'll
time.
be very happy for you and the other Florida fans if they can win.
So beat two ranked teams in the first 2 weeks is pretty solid. Then we go into a couple of Sugar Puff games.
Yeah.
Before we go, I think Tennessee would be the next big game that we'd have.
Yeah.
So
That'd be a great start.
let's move on to another SEC team going out to the Big 12 to play Texas. That's going to be Alabama versus Texas. Quinn Ewers, I think? Ewers seems to be the guy at quarterback for Texas right now. They were kind of undecided up until right at the end. He put up 225 passing yards last week against Louisiana Monroe. That's pretty rough.
First career start.
I guess so, yeah, okay. Alabama, we all know who they are. We all know their expectations. This is a high-profile game, even though Texas consistently has sucked for the last, how many years has it been? 20? So I don't know why it's such a high-profile game. But then again, it is. Texas is coming to
2005, I think, or 2006.
It's
when
been
they
a
had Vince
long
Young.
time.
05.
Yeah, so 17 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, question of the day is this: is Texas gonna hightail it back to the Big 12 and beg to let them stay?
No.
What's gonna happen then? Tell me more.
They're going to get
You
stomped.
got your notepad?
They are going to get stomped. I've got to post it.
That is hilarious. And some written on the inside of your hand too.
No. Just some talking points. I mean, I honestly believe Alabama should destroy Texas this weekend.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that Texas is a bad team. It just means they're a lot worse than Alabama.
Right.
Alabama is clearly in the top 3 teams from the eye test after the first week. They got the returning Heisman winner. They look great against a much weaker opponent. But Utah State did win 11 games last year. So,
And they didn't even score.
right, 55-0. So let's give it credit where credit's due. Alabama is primed to have another big year. Bryce Young, 6 total touchdowns as your returning Heisman winner. So he's off to a great start. Probably already after week 1 leading the Heisman candidacy race.
Oh yeah.
But I think there will probably be some things that Texas can do, but I don't see them score. I mean, I really don't see them keeping it within 14 points, probably not even 21.
What do you think, Chopper?
Alabama big. I think Saban goes in and gives a big Hoosier daddy to Sarkisian.
Yeah, Sark don't have anything for him, huh?
Yeah.
Speaking of Hoosier Daddy, what are you thinking on this game?
It is going to be totally. They talked about Oregon, how they didn't do anything. Well, they're going to be talking next week about Texas. I think it's going to be a rout. And I think back, a lot of you. I'm a NASCAR fan, Indy racing fan. They drink milk when the winner crosses the speedway line at Indianapolis. Well, Texas is going to be drinking buttermilk, or as sour as they played this week.
It's going to be bad. Huh?
Alabama in a rout.
Bringing in the NASCAR reference, I like that.
And I'm going to assume that Cheeks is on board with Alabama on this conversation
Yeah,
as well.
I mean that's a shoe-in.
I would be surprised if Texas scores 20 points.
I would be too.
Yeah.
I bet you they don't score up to 10. So
Yeah, it's going to be rough, man. And I feel sorry for them because this is like prime time game for these guys, you know?
What I was surprised, did Will Anderson sit the last 3 quarters or something? Because he only had 5 tackles and 1 tackle for loss, not a single sack.
Okay.
So that was surprising to me.
Yeah. I don't know. It's I didn't get to watch that game. So I just looked at some highlights real quick to see what really
I don't
happened.
watch all of these games.
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
I just imagine you in a control room.
got-
I want to be.
We got 17. I'm actually trying to get my wife to let me build that front room that I have in my
Yeah.
house? I'm trying to let her
No, I
let me
haven't been
build
invited
a-
yet, but let's not talk about that.
You'll get over there at some point, don't worry. All right, moving on.
At some point.
Number 17, Pittsburgh. Backyard brawl last week against West Virginia. Barely
Overrated.
win. Number 17 against newly ranked in the top 25. Tennessee, number 24 now. Tennessee was dominant last week. They had 569 yards of total offense. Like, they're the real deal, in my opinion, right now in the SEC East. Like, I'm scared of them for Florida's sake.
Yeah, I think
mean,
that was
Georgia
one of my dark
should be,
horse Heisman candidates right there.
Yeah, exactly. Read the article
And in Hooker.
on the Ripper Report. Guys, thebardoggedsports.substack.com. Dark horse Heisman candidate, but I'm just saying, like, Tennessee putting up that many yards. I mean, they're the real deal. And I think even Georgia might be a little bit worried about going to play Tennessee this year. Alabama should even be a little bit worried about playing Tennessee this year.
Oh, yeah.
So, should Pittsburgh be really worried about playing Tennessee this week? What do you mean? Explain. You can't just nod.
I don't know. Well, I'm waiting for you to point on who's next so I can take my turn and not talk the whole time.
Ripper, hit me up,
all
my
right.
man.
So, I think his name's Keaton Slovis is the transfer quarterback from USC to Pitt. Didn't look too great. Barely beat West Virginia, unranked team. They pulled that game out late, and a true freshman for West Virginia, 6'2", 240-pound tight end, ran all over them, had a big blocked punt on special teams. Pitt is not what they were last year, and last year they lost 2 games. So
No, their quarterback last year was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then bringing in a transfer that doesn't really know
it's
know
a new
the
system,
program.
very talented player,
Yeah.
but Pitt is not the Pitt of last year. Tennessee is up and coming. For the first time in their head coach's 2-year career now, Tennessee's ranked like they should be. They're ranked 24th, I believe.
Yeah. And they should be ranked. Like, they played.
Right.
I mean, it was Ball State. Come on. Like, you expect them to put up
Yeah,
pretty
but
good numbers
when you drop 59, I mean, you're doing something right.
with almost 600 yards of offense. You know,
Right.
like, that's pretty solid.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to go Tennessee over Pitt here. I'm going to go with the upset.
Hanger. Chopper. Sorry, I just
Here's
called
you.
myself out to talk. I need to figure out
We
my
were all
name.
waiting.
I go back and forth on this because I will tell you one thing. When I was watching the Pitt West Virginia game, I was more impressed with Pitt than I thought I would be. To be quite honest, I was more impressed with the team, environment. I was like, man, I didn't expect some things I didn't expect out of Pitt. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it was a much hyped game. I think it was a Thursday night game too, so there wasn't a lot going on that night, right?
That being said, I think I think I would give the edge to Tennessee, but it's going to come down to the end. It's going to come down to the fourth quarter, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. We have got to move on to the Carolina versus Arkansas game. I'm going to direct this over towards Cheeks here. She's a major Carolina Gamecock fan, I believe. I might be wrong about this.
No, I'm laughing because the last game was scary. The first half was very scary.
Covered the spread, though.
They did. They ended up covering the spread. But if they had played the second half like they did the first half, it would be doom and gloom for the rest of the season.
So I think that this game is going to test Carolina big time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, Georgia State tested Carolina big time.
Yeah.
So we're going to see just how good Carolina can be. We're also going to see how good Arkansas is, right? That's my opinion on it. Arkansas puts up 450 yards last week, evenly spread between the passing and the running game. So my man Ripper over here is begging to say something.
Well, I just wanted to say, for the first time in many years, the Gamecocks have a very talented quarterback. Really does.
Yeah.
Problem is, he's running for his life back there. The
Oh, yeah.
offensive line is atrocious. So it's not going to be. I mean, Arkansas has a legitimate SEC, defensive line. They're not going to be able to handle him. It's not even going to be close, and that's unfortunate. But that's going to be a 1-1 start for the Gamecocks to start the year.
So Cincinnati put up 325 yards.
With Georgia coming on.
So Cincinnati puts up 325 yards in passing against Arkansas, right?
Yeah.
So Arkansas has a weakness on their corners.
You have to have time to throw the ball.
You have to have time to throw the ball. So you don't think that Carolina's front,
I think the
line.
receivers are more than capable. I think the quarterback is really, really good.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to have time to actually step into a
He's
throw.
going to spend a lot of time scrambling
move
and
into the
throwing
pocket.
away the ball. Yeah.
Right. Which he can do very well.
Right.
Jalen Brooks, receiver for Carolina, had 90 yards passing, right, or 90 yards receptions. That was it. Like everyone else was 20, 30, maybe 40 yards at best. They didn't do a lot against Georgia State last week on that. So I'm not sure that he has that Spencer Rattler has people around him.
What surprised me even more was the lack of rushing yards we had against Georgia State last year. I think the leading rusher had 17 yards or something. It was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous, yeah.
Yeah.
So that being said, Arkansas, their only weakness, it seems like to me, based on last week's game, is that they might not have the corners there to kind of keep people from catching the ball, you know?
I predict that this will be the first week we see the Ben Affleck meme.
We will see the Ben Affleck.
Ben
meme.
Affleck
You heard it
is
here
coming out.
first, folks.
Ben Affleck needs that nicotine.
He needs to smoke a cigarette
Yep.
leaning against
Yep.
the wall for sure. And that's sad to say, but I think it's going to happen as well. I mean,
Sorry, Liz.
it's in Arkansas, so I mean, it's going to be a hard place to play, right?
Yes.
But my man, who's your daddy? He needs to get his words in here.
I'm a Carolina fan too. Coached there previous years, but being at Arkansas and the way the line is for South Carolina, it's like that garden hose you throw out there to water it's going to be a sieve coming through, and Spencer will be running for his life, not just this game, but many games to come until they get that offensive line repaired, which I don't know that can happen this year.
Yeah. Is Texas A&M going to be able to beat App State, or is App State going to be able to put up 61 points again
Well,
and still
App State
lose?
needs a defense, so.
Clearly, most
Yeah.
teams is the Sun Belt that they're in. That most of those teams don't have very solid defenses, by the way. So we'll assume that. But I think, offensively, they're pretty strong. They put up 649
Scrappy
yards.
team. I tell
Yeah.
you what, they'll give Texas A&M a run, but third, fourth quarter, Texas A&M pulls away.
Yeah, definitely more depth on the Texas A&M team. They've had #1 recruiting classes for 3 of the last 5 years or something like that. They're not playing up to the standard they should be. Those last several years as well, they should be beating Alabama. I mean, they beat Alabama last year, I guess, but they should be in an SEC championship game, and they haven't been yet. Ripper, what are your thoughts on this Texas A&M App State?
Well, A&M did not look great last week, but they got the win.
They played
It was-
Sam Houston State and
Right.
had 2 interceptions.
Right.
Jeez,
Right.
no sacks. No sacks on defense against Sam Houston State.
And the North Carolina Appalachian State game, I mean, it took 40 points in the fourth quarter for App
Yeah.
State, which was amazing.
Amazing.
But 40 points in the fourth quarter for them to, come back and make that
Yeah.
as close as it was.
And it doesn't
A&M's
matter.
not going to give up 40 points in any quarter, and they're not going to give up 40 points in the game to Appalachian State. I think this is pretty easy. And plus, I kind of think Appalachian State is in a bad situation where they're kind of down after having that big win in their grasp and letting it go with a couple of missed 2-point conversions.
Wow. Number 9 Baylor versus number 21 BYU. So it's a home game in the Mormon headquarters up there in Provo, Utah. Some say the BYU quarterback Jaron Hall is better than Zach Wilson. Numbers are not showing right now. Zach Wilson was a dynamite quarterback at BYU.
What
a
does
couple
his
years
mom's
back.
friend look like?
His mom's friend? He's
That's
like blind.
That's a Zach Wilson joke if you don't get it.
I don't get it, but I don't know Zach Wilson jokes, I guess. Oh, now I get
There
it.
it is.
Oh, okay.
Ding!
So your boy Hanger here is not quick to catch on to things if you've
It's
ever
the beginning of the
noticed.
season.
Hey,
It is,
yes. Yeah, Zach Wilson Stifler. I like that.
Thank
Look,
Good job,
honestly,
Chopper.
Baylor is expected to win the Big 12. I think that they have this.
They're not in the Big
locked.
12.
Baylor is in the Big 12. Yeah,
No,
they
I
are.
thought you said BYU.
No, I'm saying Baylor
Yeah.
is expected to win the Big 12.
Yeah.
BYU is independent. They just play whoever the hell they want to. They actually have to play Arkansas.
They get a tough schedule.
They do have a tough schedule. They got Oregon, Arkansas, and Notre Dame on their schedule, so they're going to have a tough time. Did you guys notice that Oregon is not even in the top 25 now?
Yes.
After that mass
Well, yeah, they
destruction
shouldn't be.
event.
Hey, I've got my what the fuck
Yeah.
moments coming up in a little bit. Let's not.
Sorry. All right.
I have one of those too.
And
It's
So-
not that though, but it's
No.
part of that.
but I think
I like
everyone
the 2-pointer.
everyone here would probably say Baylor's going to win. Am I right?
Yep.
Chopper.
I go Baylor, yeah.
Who's your daddy?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Hit
Baylor.
me up. All right.
Without a
And
doubt.
Cheeks, you think that
I'm going
Morgan's
with a
got any
crowd
chance?
favorite because I just don't even care.
Okay, gotcha.
So, despite the fact that I picked Kansas State to win the Big 12,
You did.
Yeah.
Baylor is
Yeah.
the class right now.
Wow.
Baylor's pretty good. And, I mean, we don't know for sure if they're good, but we will see in the next several weeks as well. So let's go ahead and go to a What the Fuck!
What the fuck?
Everybody, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
No, that's last call.
So, what the fuck? Who's your daddy? Give me a what the fuck.
I'm going to pass on this one right now and come back to it. So,
Okay.
Oh, are y'all planning something?
No.
Do you guys, are you anticipating some really interesting, like, just a play off of my man Rippers?
I have one. It slipped my mind at the moment when you hit me up first,
Okay.
but I will come back to it.
Cheeks, what the fuck?
Mine was the last 31 seconds of the App State game on Saturday.
Insane.
Insane. I was so happy to be in a pool at the time, yes.
Was it 21 points in like, or 20 something points in like the last 30 seconds? Like,
Oh, it was just insane.
7 for North Carolina, 14, 13
yeah.
for App State.
That is,
I
what,
mean, we couldn't have scripted that debacle.
we can all say in unison, what the
the
fuck?
fuck?
Alright. Chopper, what
Hey,
the fuck?
did everybody see what Coach O? So when he came out and when he was getting fired, anybody see what he said when he got bought out for $17 million? What his quote was in the news? He said, "What time do you want me to leave, and what door do you want me out, brother?"
Hey,
A little bit of humor. I like that.
Chopper, can you do it in your Coach O voice?
Go Tigers!
What the fuck?
Go Tigers!
What the fuck? Alright. Ripper, what the fuck?
What the fuck is the Week 1 AP pollsters for college football? You know, it's not very often that you beat a top 5 team and you drop in the rankings. But that's not what bothers me. I actually put Ohio State down to number 3 as well after watching the weekend's games. But when you take an unranked team and you move them up to number 12, what the fuck?
Oh, we went straight for the jugular.
Oh, that is
I told you.
that hurts.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck?
Oh, who's
That's
the number
my
12
what the
team you can
fuck.
be
You
talking
just did that to me.
Hey, you know that they got to prove everybody right now. So that
I mean,
prove
That's
prove
fine.
damn,
them
right? Damn.
Pressure's on, right?
That's a jump.
That's mean.
I told you you were going to like it
I
before
thought
we
you were
even
going to
started.
say taking a ranked team, number 5, and dropping them down to not even ranked at all is what the
That's
fuck.
awesome.
But taking Florida and putting them number 12?
I warned you.
I'm mad. Listen, you're not even invited to my house ever.
Yeah, I kind of got that hint before tonight.
Okay. Who's your daddy? What the fuck?
Yeah, what the foo? Brian Kelly, I don't even want to say his last name. What's he get, about $10 million a year?
$10 million.
And can't, I mean, you got to teach a kid how to catch a punt. That happened twice. And then
How to block on an extra point.
you don't ever let them come to the inside. I don't know how much I heard that since
That's
that
the
game.
problem.
You let a guy come to the inside, blocks the field goal. And, I mean, it was, I'm not going to say it's sad for him because I'm not a LSU fan, but it almost couldn't happen to a better guy.
Yeah. Are there any Brian Kelly fans out there?
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
What the fuck? All right, my what the fuck is
Hang
this.
on.
Hangers, what the fuck? Ready? Iowa versus South Dakota.
Yeah, it's a doozy.
Interesting game, right? Iowa beats South Dakota State 7-3 with two. Oh no!
Oh,
last
you're
call. Let
like
me
30
finish
seconds
up.
early.
Let me finish up then. Iowa versus South Dakota State. Iowa wins 7-3 with two safeties in the second half. Iowa was only 13-point favorites in this game, and there's no way a Big Ten team should have struggled that bad. I'm pretty sure in modern football, I don't think there's ever been a score like that ever, where there's two safeties that helps them win the game. What the fuck?
What the fuck
is wrong with Iowa Hawkeyes?
Welcome to
I got something to
1973
tag on to
Big Ten.
that. I heard today an Iowa fan made Jello shots, froze a bunch of them, and told all the Hawkeye fans, "Come down, you get a free Jello shot for every touchdown when we score." While they're wondering how long those Jello shots will keep, because then
What the
Good
fuck?
story. What the fuck?
That's a great one. All right, last call.
Last call.
Last call. She came 30 seconds early. That's fine though. We just make it happen around here.
I'm
on Guys
impressing my
Tomorrow.
comments.
All right. Last call. Who do you call to win the Super Bowl and why? Chopper.
I'm back. Never start with the NFL with me. Let me think about that one.
All right, I'll let you think about that.
Oh my God!
Cheeks,
so
give
much.
it to me, girl.
I have so much on the NFL, but
Do it.
I'll summarize it really quick. Can't wait for Thursday night. That's going to be a great game. Rams and the Bills.
Possible.
Awesome.
Super Bowl lineup.
Yes, yeah. Although, sort of no for me. But anyway, and also I'm very excited about the Sunday NFL ticket here at MJ's. For $100,
Do
it
it.
pays for itself in 6 games.
Is it 3 drinks?
It's three drinks valued at $6.50 a piece
Boom.
per week. Yes, I'm so
Nice.
excited. I've already bought in. I will be here on Sunday. Yes,
Who wins the Super Bowl? Who is in the Super
my
Bowl?
Super Bowl is the Bills and the Eagles,
Oh, nice.
and
okay.
I've got the winner for you.
Who?
It's not the Eagles.
Oh.
I'm predicting the Bills are going to win their first Super Bowl.
Bills are good though. They should be anyway. Who's your daddy? Hit me.
Who's your daddy? Has the Bills, and I'm a Green Bay Packer fan as well, because when I was principal of a school in Miamisburg, a young man went to Ohio State, starting center. He was now the Packers' first draft pick.
Nice.
He's starting center for the Packers. So,
Aaron Rodgers is ranked number 1 right now for quarterbacks.
but needless to say, I still think the Bills.
Are gonna win.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
Ripper the predictor, and you gotta take this with tact because he usually doesn't predict very well. Go ahead.
All right, so this is a little different. I'm going with the Los Angeles Chargers versus the New Orleans Saints. Now listen up. This is why.
Jameis Winston.
Yes, I was thinking.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So,
God, no.
7 games last year, 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. This year he gets Michael Thomas back, one of the, if not the best receiver in the NFL, and they just drafted Chris Olave. They still have Alvin Kamara. Oh, by the way, they had the 4th-ranked defense in the league last year.
Who wins the game?
The San Diego Chargers, Justin Herbert, 3rd-year quarterback. Last year in his 2nd year, 5,000 yards rushing. They got Joey Bosa, defensive end, and they got Derwin James as a safety. I'm going with the Chargers over the Saints in the Super Bowl, baby. Boom.
You crazy as
Yeah.
you crazy as hell.
But I backed it up with some stuff.
Good job, man.
With some stuff there.
Don't take that to Vegas.
I think if maybe Winston gets hurt out for the season after 2 games, then your Saints might have a chance.
Well, he got hurt last year, tore his ACL, and then they didn't do so well.
He gets hurt a lot. And he's a
14-3
whiner.
was 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions last
He
year.
was a big giant baby with the Buccaneers.
But he's not now.
Chopper. Let's move on to Chopper's picks.
Remember,
We'll say, yeah.
Hit me, Chopper.
Let's go out
hit him. No,
on a
literally.
limb.
You're gonna go on a limb. Let's
William
hear your
Brown.
limb.
The Dallas Cowboys to win the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Everybody loves the Cowboys. America's
America's team.
Everybody does not.
America's
We just
Prescott.
brought on a lot
Prescott.
of new fans Rams, right?
Prescott.
Dak Prescott's pretty
Go
good, man.
Cowboys.
If he
He
stays
is.
healthy.
You just made a lot of enemies.
He is. He just can't win a playoff game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Who do I call to
Yeah.
win the Super Bowl? Playing Tampa Bay versus the New England Patriots. And I'm kind
How
of a
cute.
dreamer here.
How cute.
I'm kind of a dreamer, and I'm going with my heart on this. But wouldn't it be awesome to see Tom Brady playing against Mac Jones, who's now filling his shoes there in New England, right? In the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden, Mac Jones throws a 90-yard bomb last second to win the Super Bowl for the Patriots, baby!
And finally, Tom Brady retires.
And
Yeah.
don't take that to Vegas either.
And he's going to Miami for a 2-year contract after that because his new home in Miami just got finished.
Oh my
That's
God.
right. You think he's gonna go? You think he's gonna do his last season in Miami?
Yes.
That would be so awesome, wouldn't it?
I don't know.
Holy moly.
That would just be stupid.
Yeah.
That would be a 49-year-old Tom Brady and still playing
He's
in
45
Miami.
now.
I
Hey, but
know.
don't count out the Broncos. Russell Wilson's with the Broncos now.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see what happens. But let's go ahead and wrap this show up, put a bow on it, and send it on out there to the world. This is Guys at the Bar talking sports.
See ya.
I'm trying to turn it off and I can't. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, good stuff.
If you like the show and you want to help the guys grow the show, go ahead and go to your podcatcher and subscribe to the show. Then you could also write us a review and give us 5 stars. If you do that, it'll help us grow the show. You could also join our Facebook group, which allows you to have camaraderie with other sports fans all over the country. You might even get a free beer out of it. So go ahead and join that group as well. And then check out our Substack, which is Guys at the Bar Talking Sports.substack.com for weekly articles and the Ripper Report.